Hi everyone, this is the 42nd session of Computer Application in Business of 5th semester BBA affiliated to Bangalore North University. In this session, we are going to understand the meaning and types of data models. Let's revise the content of the previous session. We understood as to what is a transaction, how transaction management is done. We understood different states of transaction. We understood what is a commit transaction and a rollback transaction, and what is the meaning of storage management. In this session, we are going to understand the data models and types of data models. At the end of the session, students will be able to explain the different data models. The content of this session would be understanding the meaning of data model, the important terminologies, and the components of data model. There are 4 types of data models which will be covered in the session: hierarchical database model, network database model, relational database model, and object-oriented database model. So what is data model? It is nothing but a logical design, and it defines the structure of the database to store, to access, and to manipulate data easily and efficiently. This database model is also termed as database architecture. Now let's understand some of the important terminologies like schema, subschema, and an instance. Schema is nothing but the overall description of a database. Sometimes it is also referred to as intention. Subschema is nothing but the user's view of data item types and record types. An instance is nothing but the collection of information stored in the database in a particular movement. Now let us understand the different components of data model. Basically, it has 3 components. One is structural part, next is manipulative part, and integrity rules. Structural part consisting of set of rules according to which database can be constructed. Whereas when a database defines the types of operations such as update, retrieve, and changing the data structure, this constitutes a manipulative part. Whereas integrity rules ensures data accuracy. Let's move on to different types of models. So there are basically 4 models: hierarchical database model, network database model, relational database model, and object-oriented database model. Let's understand one by one. Hierarchical database model is one of the oldest database model, where we can see that from 1950s. One of the first database hierarchical system was developed by IBM. In this model, files are arranged in a top-down structure that resembles a tree. The hierarchical database model mandates that each child has only one parent, whereas each parent record can have only one or more child. This looks like our organization structure. You can see on the picture, we have college at the top. Under that we have course, infrastructure, teacher, where you can see as a parent and children. And the course, there are different courses, and under that we can see the courses like BCA, MBA, BBA, BCom, etc. So it looks like a tree. So here the nodes are represented by parent and a child. This model has many advantages over other models such as simplicity, data sharing, data integrity, and efficiency. But it also suffers from some of the drawbacks like complexity, inflexibility, and database management problems are some of the drawbacks of this hierarchical model. To overcome the limitations of hierarchical model, we have a network model. It is a generalization of hierarchical model. This model was created to solve the limitations of hierarchical database model. In this type of model, a child can be linked with many parents, and the parent nodes are known as owners and the child nodes are known as members. Here, it establishes many-to-many relationships or logical associations. So, network database model replaces hierarchical tree with graph, thus allowing more general connections among the nodes. This network model has capability in handling many relations, data independence, and data standards, and it has easier access to data. These are some of the advantages of network model, and of course it also suffers from operation anomalies, system complexity, and absence of structural independence. Now let's understand relational database model. This relational database model represents the database as collection of relations. It's nothing but a table of values. It has rows and the columns which indicates and represents a collection of related data values. And it represents the relationships by collection of interrelated tables. So this model stores the data in the form of table, unlike hierarchical model in the form of tree, network model in the form of graph, and relational database model stores the data in the form of data tables. Now let's move on to one more type of data model, that is object-oriented database model. This model defines a data in terms of objects, their properties, and their operations. Objects with the same structure and behavior belong to a class, and classes are organized into a hierarchical or acyclic graphs. So this exists only during the program execution. So when the database are stored in terms of object, we call that as object-oriented database model. It was basically proposed to meet the needs of more complex applications and to offer flexibility. So here we have understood different database models and the pattern of storing the data and its advantages and disadvantages. Now let us try to answer the questions. The question is, which of the following is not a component of data model? Please recall back the components that we have discussed. Now let's see the solution. Structural part, program part, manipulative part, and integrity rules. So answer is program part. So this, which is not a component of data model, because we know structural part, manipulative part, and integrity rules are the components of data model. Now let's look into the next question. Schema is also known as query, subschema, extension and intention. Yes, the answer is intention. Now, which one of the following is not a data model? Logical model, hierarchical model, network model, relational model. So we know that hierarchical, network, relational and object oriented. So the answer is logical model. Next question is oldest among the data model. So is it network, relational, object oriented and hierarchical? The answer is hierarchical model. And the last question, dash model establishes many-to-many relationships. So is it a network, relational, object oriented or a hierarchical model? The answer is network model. These are some of the references to books for this session. Thank you.